Hey guys, how you doing? This is Trent with Dynavin USA. I am here today to show you a first glimpse at the brand new N6 platform by Dynavin, and in front of me you'll see the E46 version. Basically the only thing that changes across any of the versions is some slight software things here and there, but the main things that change are obviously the faceplates and the fittings. The whole underlying user interface and software is completely the same. So I'm going to start with giving this a fresh boot, much like you would the very first time you turn it on in your vehicle. Now the first boot up is said to take anywhere up to 30 seconds. That image there we will get to later as to why it's coming up. After your first initial load, it will store some of its settings in memory, and this is one of them, so I'll show you that here in a minute. But this unit is leaps and bounds ahead of almost any Dynavin unit that they've had out. I've been around since 2009, where the D30 was introduced. So here we are past the D99 at the N6. And so we'll get right to it. Here is the radio screen. This is your main radio user interface here. You can see you have your presets here. 15 presets per band. Pardon if there's any screen glitches. I have the protector still on it, so it doesn't like to play sometimes. It wants my raw finger on it. 15 presets. Right now we're on FM, as you can see right here down in the corner. If you want to change it to AM, touch that button. We'll touch it and go back here. We'll swipe it back to there. You can manually tune with the knob over here in the corner. Since it's not actually in a vehicle, as you can tell, it's hard to get some radio stations, but I do believe I can get at least one of them here. There's one. To press and hold, or to store a station in your memory, you just press and hold. It's pretty intuitive. Let's go to this station. Press and hold that as well. These black boxes here, you can actually customize what image you want to show there. You can put whatever you'd like, and that'll go through your computer. We can get into that in a later video, but something to notice here is your clock will sync based on your GPS location. You don't manually set it, it'll pick it up, and so it should always be accurate. These are some settings in your radio that you can read about or get to, and then over here is the information for whatever phone you have paired over Bluetooth, which we can also talk about later. Let's look at the settings here for the phone. You have your standard settings. Since we just hard booted this thing, we'll change it to USA. It really won't matter much, and that's basically it for the radio for now. If you're wondering about the more in-depth details on this, you can look at the user manual that is posted on our website. We'll go back. This is your home screen. The newest thing about the Dynavin home screen right now is that it is semi-customizable. I say that because these two icons here on the first of the three screens are the customizable icons. So let's say you want to switch one of those, you have to go to the third screen, which is where all your other icons are. Say I want to add A2DP to one of those icons because I frequently listen to Bluetooth. Press and hold, brings you over here. Let it go. There you go, we got A2DP. Let's just work in a clockwise momentum here, counterclockwise. We'll go with the phone next. I have my iPhone paired to the unit. You can see that it says Trent's iPhone up there in the corner. From here you can dial any number if you have to. The buttons obviously down here at the bottom mean dial out, hang up. This will sync your stuff if you feel like you've added a contact and it's not there, and that'll take you back to the home screen. That beep we can get rid of later. I'll show you how to do that. This will give you your recent calls, so it shows you who dialed in, who dialed out, if you missed it, if you have favorites. We'll get out of that. We'll go into the phone book here. It's synced it all. You can search, you can type in anybody's name and get them. If you want to dial them, you touch them. Give you the option. You can dial, sync, favorite. You can do a lot of things from this menu right here. It's pretty powerful. If you don't, just touch away. Go back. There's really not much more to the phone part of it. It's pretty intuitive. It does a really good job of syncing. I've got it synced right now with an iPhone 5S over Bluetooth. There were no hiccups there. Now we can work into the iPod. The iPod on this unit, older units came with a 30-pin connector iPod. Since Apple likes to change things all the time and not tell anybody, this unit has a USB connection in the back, so you can connect the USB that you get from Apple right into it to your phone, and so you can switch out things as you needed without having to buy new connectors that are Dynavin specific, like the old one was. So it will charge pretty much all the iPods. I have a 4S iPod, or iPhone I guess, connected to it right now, and you can see it's playing it. Take my word that it's charging right now at the same time. You can see it will pull the album art. You can control it all from one. And this screen is very distinctive of almost any alternate media source, and the functionality is quite the same. So you got your play and pause, shuffle, or repeat, shuffle, and then you can go back to your menu with this guy here. Over on the left you have all of the albums, all of the artists, all of the songs, and playlists. So if you want, one of the many criticisms was you wanted to be able to try and sort through these without having to go through your scroll over here. So let's say you want to go to an artist. You can now hit the keyboard down here, and it's semi-transparent, as you can see, and you can type in what you want, and there's who you wanted to look at. This is not my iPod, for the record. So you can do that kind of stuff. Another neat feature is that you see if you have your radio stations programmed here, your iTunes radio, you can actually play those as well through the radio, which I thought to be pretty neat. And it will load their album art as well. The only thing I've noticed down here is that this obviously isn't accurate. You don't have a lot in the queue, so it can't see those, but you can go through it as well. Probably have an ad. Nope, there you go. So that's pretty neat. Very user friendly there. We can go back out. Another great feature is the A2DP. A lot of people play music over Bluetooth nowadays. So now this is going to go to my phone that's linked over Bluetooth, different from the iPod we were just looking at. And it's actually loading up right now. It's loading up Pandora. If we pan over here to my phone, I'll log into it. You can see Pandora's up right there. I can press play on the head unit, and it will actually start playing on Pandora. It's pretty awesome. You can also navigate through. It's a very good interface here for the Bluetooth audio. A2DP. There's really not much else to this screen. It's pretty straightforward. The phone will automatically link up after your initial sync or pair with it. It'll automatically link up every time you get in the car, which is nice. And like I said again, you have your cell phone strength and battery up there. Go back, navigation is included with these units. It's iGo Primo, and it is user updatable over naviextras.com, which you'll probably see here when you click it. It's going to load up. You'll see this is the website down here where you can get your points of interest and upgrade your maps and such as time goes on. So it just takes a second, loads up, and there you are. You got your map and all this, and this is not Dynavin specific. This is iGo specific, which is the software manufacturer. So it's your standard stuff. It's pretty normal. Very quick though user interface that you'll see. You're cruising around here real fast. You'll notice that when I touch an icon, it mutes the audio slightly, so you can hear voice directions and things like that. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. You can come in here and go into your settings, volume, turn it all off. Say I just want to look at navigation, I want to hear it, and now as I'm pressing these buttons, you notice it's no longer muting the audio. So that's pretty cool. We'll go back to the home screen here. You can just swipe over to the next one. Info here will tell you all about your current setup. This also shows you how much space is left on the internal hard drive, anything like that. The update can be deceiving, but what it is you have to put it on an SD card when there is one available, which we'll tell you about, or you can look at it on the website. The Navi path is if you happen to change your navigation software and what you use, you have to tell the head unit where to look for it. So that's how you set that up. You click it right now, you'll see the path on the SD card where the software is located. Onboard computer will show you parameters of the vehicle. Right now, obviously, since it's not connected to a vehicle, you're not going to see anything. The parameters will vary based on your vehicle, the year of the vehicle, the options on the vehicle. It's not a strict science as to what you'll get. It's basically whatever your car's willing to give is what you'll see there. This file is where you can go browse all the contents of the internal storage card and also whatever might be connected to your radio. So I've got some blur going on here. So here you can see my storage card, which I have some sample stuff on. If you happen to want to copy that to your hard drive that's built in on the Dynavin, you have a 4 gig hard drive, you can check that box, hit Control V or Control C for copy, hit this to go up a level, internal hard drive, Control V will paste, give it a second while it does its business. Okay, now you have that on your Dynavin hard drive and you don't ever have to put it in again. So that's pretty neat. Then you can browse it and see. You can delete stuff if you're like, oh, I don't want that anymore. You can delete it, but I'm gonna leave it on there because we're gonna look at it. The apps is something that Dynavin is still developing, but it'll allow you internet access, things like that. They're working on all kinds of apps. And then these are your main system settings here for your sound and your system. Sound settings, you can come in here, do your fade, balance, delay, just much like you would in any other vehicle. Pretty standard there. Bass, middle, treble, pretty self-explanatory. You also have dedicated subwoofer control if you have external subwoofer with an amplifier and the RCA outputs. Equalizer allows you to get real crazy with what exactly frequencies you want your sound to come out at. You can use preset ones here as well. Your source, if you feel like one source isn't quieter than the others and you want it to be louder, you absolutely can change that. Navigation mute is the same thing, whether or not you want the navigation system to mute when you touch it. You can change it here or in the settings like I just showed you. Confirmation tone is that beep that you keep hearing, so if I turn that off, now when I touch the screen you don't hear a beep. Loud alternates the equalizer to make it loud. Dynabass alternates the equalizer to increase the bass. If you touch over there you can make it less or more. OE DSP is for you BMW E53, E39 folk. This is how you're going to integrate with your factory optical amplifier, and factory amplifier hi-fi is for E9X and some other BMWs. That's all outlined in the manual as well. System settings in here. Brake, checking that allows you to play video while in motion. You have your brightness settings here. You have two options now because it was a wide user complaint before that the brightness didn't adjust. So you have auto and manual. Manual is obviously manual. You can adjust the brightness of the screen yourself. Auto will give you two settings, illumination and sensor. Illumination will dim the backlight when your vehicle's lights turned on. The alternative is you press sensor up here, and then it takes the input from a light sensor that's right here. So you'll notice if I hold my thumb over it and give it a couple seconds, it will likely dim unless my room is too dim, which it possibly is, but I've tested it, it works. I have the lights turned down in here so the camera will focus. So back to the settings here. Dual zone means that you can have navigation up on here, and if you're playing a DVD, the DVD can go out to your rear view or your rear monitors if you have kids in the back or what have you. You got your different languages here, so on. Let's see. Reverse depends on what you have set up from the factory. If you have a factory reverse camera, it'll integrate with it. Or if you add a camera, if you have factory park distance control sensors where you back up and it beeps, it'll integrate with that. If you have both, press that. If you don't have any, use none. Pretty self-explanatory there. Time zone you adjust to where you are in the world. Touchscreen calibration, you press that, you can recalibrate the touchscreen. It'll tell you to touch different spots and get it all squared away for you. And then internet, you set this up if you have a 3G card that you want to input, how you can log on to there, which will be coming with the apps. With that, we'll go to the next screen. I've showed you iPod, the SD card. I have some music on, you'll see. And like I said, it's very similar to how the iPod operates. So here's your videos, here's your pictures. If you want to check out a picture, you can click on it. These are pretty large images, so they take a minute. Go back. If you want to see just the overall file structure of the card, you can do that as well. It's pretty user-friendly there. So here's a movie. It supports a wide variety of formats that I can get you if you absolutely want to see them, but as you can see, it works pretty flawlessly. It's very nice, very easy to use. Go back to your audio. If you have linked album art, it'll link it for you. Pretty straightforward. Go back out to this guy. DAB we don't use in the United States yet. The disc, there's somebody's CD that they left behind in there, so that'll load up. It will play DVDs, DVD videos through the disc as well. You don't have to put the movies on an SD card like I happen to. You know, nothing fancy here, just what you would expect. Very usable, friendly. Cutting you guys off up there at the top. Sorry about that. Peel back out. If the USB right now is connected to the iPod, so there isn't a USB, it's all iPod. If you don't have an iPod and you connect a hard drive or something like that, that's where you'll find it. TV, we don't currently have in the United States due to our digital switchover, so that won't work for you. The aux, I don't have connected, but you know, it's your standard red and white composite inputs. A lot of people, if you don't have a device that can stream or compatible with the USB, you'll get a headphone 3.5mm jack to aux and connect it that way, which you can. We went through A2DP, and you have your internal hard drive here, which if you remember earlier, we copied a folder to, the pictures folder. There it is, right there on the internal hard drive. You can do this with, you know, videos, music, you can do it with all. I just don't have it on here, but it's a great way to not have to constantly switch things in and out. You can store, like I said, up to 4 gigabytes of data and pictures, music, videos, whatever you want on here, and then come back and look at them without having to insert anything in the unit. What you'll notice too when you're looking at pictures, there's this icon down here in the bottom right, which I told you we'd get to. When I turned the head unit on, you saw the picture of that deer. Picture of that deer, you'll notice, is right here. So if you want to customize your background when you boot, you know, with a car or brand logo or whatever have you, click this little guy. It will load for 10 seconds or so, and it'll give you a green check mark when it's done, and that means that that picture is now your boot up picture when you turn the head unit on. So that's pretty neat. You can customize it that way as well. So that's a quick, and by quick I guess I mean 20-minute run through of the new Dynavin N6 platform. You can see it's really friendly and very well rounded compared to some of the previous Dynavin units. So if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot us an email, and we'd be more than happy to help you out. We have quite a few of these guys in stock, so just email us and let us know what you're looking for, and we'll get you taken care of. Again, my name was Trent. I'm with Dynavin USA. Have a good evening.